Hello students, so we're going to talk about acceleration today. A-C-C-E-L-E-R-A. Okay, and there is another term called deceleration. D-E-C-E-L-E-R-A-T-I-O-N. Acceleration, deceleration. Now, we read about speed, velocity, average speed in the last lecture. Now, let's understand it a little bit more. When an object is moving from point A to point B, we said that whatever is the distance between A and B, whatever the distance is traveled, and by total time was the average speed. But we said the speed could be changing in between. It could be moving at some point of time, moving faster, then slower, and so on. Now, the change in speed, the rate of change of speed is called acceleration. When speed is increasing, we call it acceleration. When the speed is decreasing, we call it deceleration. Let's understand it a little better. So, let's say an object is stationary and reaches a speed of 60 meters per second so it is at 0 meters per second, and in 6 seconds it increases speed in 6 seconds from 0 meters per second to 60 meters per second. So what is the change in speed? It is 60 meters per second minus 0 meter per second, and the time taken is 6 seconds. So what we are saying is change in speed divided by time taken to change is called acceleration. So in this case, it is 60 meter per second minus 0 meter per second, which is 60 meter per second divided by time, which is 6 seconds. So which will become 10 meter per second, and again divided by second will make it meter per second square. So the rate of change of speed for this object is 10 meter per second square, and that is what is the acceleration of this object. And if this object was moving at 60 meters per second square and then went on to stationary mode or to rest within 6 seconds, that would have been deceleration of 10 meters per second square or minus 10 meter per second square. That will be the deceleration. So we read two things. Now this acceleration could also be uniform or non-uniform. The rate of change of acceleration, although it is not in your course, but rate of change of acceleration is called jerk. You don't have to worry about it. Now there are two terms which you also need to know. One is, which you know but you need to understand, is average speed and average acceleration. They assume, both average speed and average acceleration assumes only, we ignore the in-between things. We only talk about when average speed we look at the distance traveled by total time. Similarly, in average acceleration, we look at final speed minus the initial speed divided by the time. So we ignore what is going on in between. But when we talk about uniform speed, there we assume that speed at any point of time was same throughout. Similarly, when we talk about uniform acceleration, we will assume that throughout the time acceleration was constant and there was no change in acceleration. So you need to be very careful about these terms, average speed and uniform speed. And similarly, average acceleration and uniform acceleration. So once again to repeat, average speed is only end state, distance between the end state and the initial state divided by the time. Average acceleration is end state speed minus the initial state speed divided by the time taken. The units of accelerations are meter per second square. Uniform speed means that throughout the consideration or the duration we were considering, the speed was same constant. Uniform acceleration means that throughout the time we were considering, the acceleration was same constant.